This video is brought to you by Glasshammer Gaming. Use the code CommandPhase to get an extra 5% off your models and hobby supplies. A link to their store is in the video description below. Hello and welcome to the Command Phase. My name is Mark and thank you so much for joining me. Recently we have seen some updated combat patrols either released or revealed with the Orks, Adeptus Custodes, Tau and Chaos Space Marines. So in this video we're going to take a look at all of these combat patrols and see which ones are worth buying to start a collection or potentially expand from a different starting point. Combat patrols are Games Workshop's discount offering to get into a faction, typically priced at £95, €125 or $160, which are the prices they'll be compared against to determine the value. In terms of breaking down each, we'll be looking to see what is in every box, the amount of points you can build from it from the very recent April Munitorum field manual, the value you get from each box compared to buying each unit separately from Games Workshop, and also whether it's a good starting point for a force or even worth getting multiple. So without any further ado, let's get stuck in. First up, we have the new Adeptus Custodes Combat Patrol, and this is a fantastic box which comes with 1 Blade Champion, 3 Alaris Custodians, 5 Custodian Guard, and 5 Custodian Wardens. This allows you to build a minimum of 735 points, and more if you decide to build shield captains from each of the units. So it provides a fantastic box in terms of points inside. And in terms of value, you get the typical 30% discount on this box compared to buying everything new, which is pretty much standard for combat patrols, but with them all being really useful units you'd want in your force, it makes for an exceptional box. Personally, I think this is a massive upgrade over the previous one for starting the force. Don't get me wrong, the Sisters of Silence are useful models to have for a cheap objective play, and the bikes are really cool models, albeit a bit lackluster at the moment in 40k. One of each box, if you can still find the original that is, would be a nice start to a force. But I just feel the makeup of the Wardens and Terminators being a much better pickup that you'll always want in your army, and it's great to see in a discount box, plus a really good character in the Blade Champion as well. This allows you to decide if you wanted full squads of all of the others or to make the full suite of characters. Multiple boxes here are 100% worth getting for this army, and I'm really pleased about that. Plus, if you've already started Custodes, this would still be a nice addition to it. Next up, we have the new Orks Combat Patrol, which is heavily Beast Snagger themed this time around. Inside the box we get 1 Beast Boss on foot, a whopping 20 Beast Snagger boys, and 4 Squighog boys, which includes the Knob on Squig. This clocks in at 450 points for the box, which is about average for combat patrols. In terms of value, it comes in at the middle of the road 30% off, which is certainly less than the previous version, which was 43%, which sadly is no longer available to purchase. The Death Dread and Death Copters were really cool models to get as an entry point into the army that would excite newer players as centerpieces. The new combat patrols have been getting more infantry based, and this Beast Snagger box certainly does that. I'm sure it'll be easier to balance for the combat patrol format as well. To be fair, I'm actually a big fan of the Beast Snagger models, and with their detachment in the new codex, it's a good starting point for that as well, especially if you haven't purchased any of these models previously. Although with 20 monopose Beast Snagger boys, you certainly wouldn't want a second box. Next up, we have the Tau Combat Patrol, which contains the following: 1 Tau Empire Commander, 10 Pathfinders, 10 Strike Team Warriors or Breachers, and 1 Devilfish. This comes in at the lower end of the points in the box at 345. In terms of value, we're looking at 29%, which is a little lower than the 37% in the previous box, but honestly, I think it's a better overall box for a brand new player getting into the faction. While the Ghost Kill was a really cool centerpiece model in the old Combat Patrol, and the Cadre Fireblade is able to lead the unit of Breachers or Strike Team, the new box has all of the units any new player would need for a Tau army. Commanders are essential for the majority of the upcoming Tau detachments, plus having a transport in the discount box is a great addition, especially as it pairs really well with the Breachers. Plus, Pathfinders will always be useful. While stocks last, grabbing one of each box would be a really great start to a force at a nice discount. The last of the upcoming combat patrols is the recently revealed one for the Chaos Space Marines. Inside you'll find one Master of Possession, 10 Legionaries, a squad of 10 Cultists, and finally 5 Possessed. This comes in at 420 points, which is pretty much middle of the road for the combat patrol boxes as you see today. In terms of value, you're looking at 27% discount on these models, which is slightly less value for money than the current combat patrol that is leaving the shelves soon. It's a far better pickup for a starting force. The Hellbrute will be a miss, I must admit, being a centerpiece model for the box, but with the changes to combat patrol going more infantry based, the new box feels a lot more well-rounded. The Master of Possession fits in well with the Possessed unit, plus Legionaries and Cultists are always good pickups for a force. This is a really good first purchase for brand new players getting into the game and wanting to start this army, plus a force I'm sure will be easier to balance in the combat patrol format if you're interested in playing that. Overall, these new combat patrols are great pickups for new players getting into the hobby. Some of these are better than others, mainly that Custodes combat patrol, which is incredible value for money, a slam dunk purchase, and certainly by multiples would be a great pickup. We've seen combat patrols changing in 10th edition with each codex release to hopefully create a more balanced format overall, which I'm all for. Having a quick, fairly well balanced format that offers a gateway into 40k is something that really needs to be improved, and I'm really enjoying seeing the changes that are being made at the moment. While to some, these box changes hasn't gone down well in terms of expanding existing armies, for the target audience Games Workshop are going for, the majority of the changes have been really good so far, bar AdMech, but that's unfortunately a whole different problem. Let me know in the comments section below what you make of the new Combat Patrol boxes and which is your favourite from the updated ones. I'd love to know. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, please hit that like and subscribe button as it really helps the channel to grow. Thank you all so much for watching the command phase, and I'll see you in the next video.